Good afternoon. I'm Dara Bunjon. I'm the food enthusiast here at More Living. I'm a food writer, food stylist, PR maven, and a frustrated baker. Those of you joining us live, drop your comments and questions for my guest or myself into the comment box, and you'll see me turn from time to time to check and see. So, our guest today is somebody who I talked to a couple weeks ago, but the technical difficulties were so bad. So I'm thrilled that she agreed to be back on the show. Today's guest is Jeannie Jacobs, or Jeannie Jacobs, MD. In today's dynamic world, career pivots are increasingly common. Almost everybody that I've talked to recently started their careers not in food and not in hospitality. So when I say numerous of workers have changed careers throughout the past several years, it is a reality. Let's welcome Jeannie and learn more about her transformation from an OBGYN to a lifestyle maven.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk to you.
Well, our fingers are crossed, and after five 5 hours at Comcast, I think I resolved a lot of the problems, and I got Peacock with it. That it. So what's on your plate today other than doing the show, Jeannie?
Just basic mom stuff, chauffeuring, picking up, cleaning up, decorating, finishing the Christmas, you know, glamour that's in my house, so to speak. And I'm not sure what I'm going to make for dinner yet. I'm going to find out what people are wanting. So that's going to be the big one.
Okay, so this is Jeannie's restaurant rather than Jeannie's kitchen. They come in and they go, I want this and I want that. Are you making something different for each person? Um,
Sometimes my husband is a pescatarian. So he has to have fish, no red meat, of course, no chicken, no nothing like that. Everything's all veggie based. The children are like, nah. Can we have a burger?
so
So
how many children? I know you have a daughter. Is there a son? Tell me about the kiddos.
my daughter's 13, and I have her name is Carly, and she's a golfer, junior golfer. She's actually ranked second in the state in STPGA here in Texas. So she's pretty serious about her game and going to Stanford. And then I have a son, he's 10, and Ethan is he's all boy. Just why, mom this, shy little boy, but then, tearing up the world. So he is the one that occupies a lot of my time. He has to have full face attention.
Let me get back to what you were talking about, getting the house ready for the holidays. You are a lifestyle maven. That's what it says on your website. That's what you've told me. So everybody, before I forget, all the information on Jeannie will come up in the comments section, but anything that you want to know or want to connect to her other sites is just JeannieJacobs.com. That is her website. Very simple, and you can get to her Facebook, her Instagram, her Pinterest, her Amazon items that she sells. There's another list. I don't know. She has so much going on. I don't know how she keeps track. I'm good for Instagram and Facebook, and that's it. So back to it. Holidays. Tips for people to brighten up their table and maybe not spend a whole lot of money. Some things that maybe they can cook in advance. So I'm just opening up the floor to you, and you can just fill us in.
Well, let's start with the tablescape. I did something for Thanksgiving. I hate tablecloths because you know why? You have to unfold them, you got to press them, then you got to worry about stains, right? What I did, I just took a simple sheet, I folded it into a long strip, put it down the middle of the table, and I got some garland that I had in the closet and kind of just nicely draped it along that piece of that sheet. And I got, believe it or not, pine cones. They're right there in the yard. They're free. Why go pay $10 for pine cones? And I had some oranges. I just sliced them and I dried them in the air fryer. and it worked perfectly. It smelled great as well. Laid them across the garland with the pine cones and add candles and some fresh flowers. And it took me maybe 30 minutes, just picking around, making sure they were perfect. But that was very simple, very unique. It's custom, off the cuff, and it looked absolutely fabulous.
That's a great idea. The only problem is I have king sheets, so
Sold
but
it several times. You'll get it.
we'll work it out. But that's a great idea. I remember another thing for the holidays and autumnal autumn type themes, like sticking cloves in an orange.
Yes. I've done that
And
several occasions, and that is a very simple thing to do. Get those cloves, stick them in the orange, put them in a beautiful bowl. You can layer that bowl with, cedar or balsam or even faux ones, and it absolutely looks stunning.
yeah, the you know that's Christmas, and we have so many um, people of different ethnic backgrounds. So um, Kwanzaa, you have a color theme. Hanukkah falls the same as Christmas.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that too? Because your table might not be all Christian, all Jewish. You know, any
Exactly.
any ideas for maybe something that's a little bit more neutral? I mean, what you said pretty much is, but
Exactly. That's why I actually did that because and my family and my friends who come and eat with us, again, they're from all over the world. So they celebrate different religions. And that type of tablescape is welcoming for everyone. You don't have to put a Christmas tree there, don't have to put a menorah there or any other thing. But just to keep it very simple and very elegant and just eye appealing, that's what you need to go for. And you can use all kinds of colors. I chose more of a neutral palette because I just had those pine cones and those oranges. And I said, why not? Let's run with this.
that's a good idea. I just wish I had a lawn and pine cones, but you can go to Michael's and find some of these things as well.
Yeah, the grocery store
Absolutely.
is here and have them in Texas all over the place. I just happen to
And,
have some in the house.
right. And if you have a big bowl and you don't even have time for that, just putting lemons and limes in there,
Exactly.
brighten the table.
And fresh flowers. Get a bouquet of flowers, with different colors, the oranges, the reds, the pinks, and just lay them across the table around your candles. And just beautiful. It just makes people go, want to sit down and really enjoy your meal with you.
I'm just checking to see if we have any questions as yet. Not as yet. The your Christmas table, your menu, you're having people. What are you serving? Because I'm just a culinary sleuth, and I want to know.
Well, my full menu guide is actually available on my Instagram account. So I just posted something yesterday that I'm actually going to make. I'm going to do a stuffed snapper for my husband. And the story behind that is we spent some time in Italy. And of course, my husband's eating fish everywhere he can.
Right.
And he ordered some fish. And our waiter brought this huge fish to the table. I mean, it was huge. It had the scales, the fins on it, the eyes, and everything like it was fresh caught. My husband was floored. He's never had anyone present a whole fish to him. So he said, yes, this fish looks great. I just, go ahead and prepare it. And it was a stuff. I think it may have been snapper. I can't remember exactly what it is, but the fish was absolutely wonderful. It was so fresh, so flavorful. And the smell, it just made me want to eat fish. And I don't even like fish that much. So we're going to do a stuffed snapper, roasted snapper this year. And I think I'm going to head and do like some tenderloin or some kind of beef because I have family members who have to have the beef. So we'll do that. So those will be the two main dishes. I'm actually going to do a butternut squash soup because my husband loves that. And I'm going to probably add something else to it. Not quite sure. I may go ahead and add a little bit more sweet potato, maybe add some parsnips. We're going to add some more vegetables to it, make it a little bit heartier this year. Um, my children, they love lamb for some reason, which I'm grateful for because most children don't like lamb. So we probably will go outside and actually put the lamb on the grill. I like the smokiness of that. My stepfather, he does that pretty well. And of course, we're going to do Brussels sprouts. My son has to have the Brussels sprouts with the maple syrup and the little bacon bits and all that. So I'm going to go ahead and indulge him on that one as well. Pecan pie is definitely on the list for sure. Homemade cranberry sauce. We do not eat canned cranberry sauce. That is not going to.
You don't like the little ridges on the plate?
No. My aunt is flying in and she makes this spectacular cranberry sauce. She will not tell me how she makes it. She waits until I leave the house to make it. So it is
Oh,
yummy. We have whole cranberries in it. It's just so tart, crisp, is the citrus in it is just amazing. So we definitely will have that. And of course, the famous, yes, cornbread dressing. You cannot have any holiday meal without my mother's cornbread dressing that she had learned from her mother and grandmother and etc.
what I
So
should tell the audience is you're from South Carolina, you're living in Texas now.
I am, yes. So
And there was a cute video on YouTube of you and your mother making pot pie.
yes,
That's a family tradition.
it certainly is. And I think she's making one today. I just talked to her.
Great. I want to jump back to some of your background because I'm sure, since what we said in the opening, in the introduction, that you were an OBGYN and you went,
Yep.
I'm done. You know, you had a lot of schooling, cum laude Wellesley and Emory University School of Medicine, a lot of time put in there. What was that aha moment where you said, I'm done being a doctor
Well,
and this isn't it?
it was during COVID. I was sitting in labor and delivery during a shift and it was miserable enough. I'm all in this crazy gear, masked up. I look like an astronaut seeing patients. And there was a young lady who was 31 weeks pregnant. She comes in through the door with no mask, screaming, yelling at everyone, bad potty mouth, as my son would say. And she had COVID and she was not well at all. She was pretty sick. She was hypoxic. She was not breathing, moving air. Her baby was also not breathing.
Mm.
Um, Basically refused care. She cursed me out, the staff out, kick, slap, you name it. She had a bad outcome as well as the baby. And during that whole process, I was saying to myself in my head, I said, why am I sitting here being abused and disrespected? I left my house this morning praying that I would not get COVID and bring it back to my family and something horrible happened to my parents and my children. But I have someone here in front of me who's telling me that I don't know anything and everything's a hoax. And she doesn't care if we die or she doesn't care if we get infected. And that was it. I stood up after she left. I transferred her out. I went to my call room and I called my supervising physician and I said, I think you probably know I'm done. I came back to help as part-time, but I didn't come back to be abused and put my life in danger like that. Because I have people who really want me and love me, and I have a lot I need to do.
Right. And it isn't, you're also a realtor, correct?
Correct?
Okay. And this has people has nothing to do with food, but it's just something that amazes me that you gifted your daughter with properties. She's a property manager at 13.
Yes, and about to do one for my son at age he'll be 11 in a few days, so he'll get his first property. And I think that's important. Um, you know, Real estate is I it's the opening to building wealth in this country. And, I wish my parents gifted me property or showed me how to manage property as a child. I think those are valuable life skills because right now we're talking about finances. We're talking about how to get credit, how to manage your property, how to manage tenants, how to use that property and get the equity to pay for, hey, you can pay for your college education from that, use it to buy your first home, etc. And these are talks I think that everyone needs to have with their children. We try to shield our kids from the adult life, so to speak, but there's some practical lessons that can come out of those discussions that they can use and be successful.
Um, there was a quote somewhere. It says, "True luxury lies in the quality of our lives and the joy we derive from living authentically." Your website, which I've mentioned before, justjeanniejacobs.com, your videos and blog are about making luxury living accessible and relatable. Could you expand upon that?
Yeah, I know people watch all these influencers on Instagram and they're living the luxury life, right? You see them with Birkin bags and fancy cars, big houses, eating out, first class flight. It's more than that. The luxury for life, sure, I can do those things. That's boring to me, whatever. But that what really true luxury is to me is finding that clarity and purpose in your life. And once you find that, you can move forward, you can do anything. You know, Life is not going to be crazy for you because you're going to do what you need to do for yourself and your family. And the things that you do will align with your own purpose and your own values. And you can stay on that straight path to success.
Um, there's so much here, and I want to tell people that um, Jeannie has another business, Luminosity Candle. It's a carefully crafted creation that blends soothing power of aromatherapy with symbolism of illumination. Tell a little bit about your candles. Look, it's the holidays. People buy candles.
Well, let me show you. I have a home fragrance company and it's called Pivotal Moments. And this is the first fragrance. It's called Luminosity. This candle represents the joy and challenges of life. And this is the candle that brought me out of labor and delivery. And through this candle, the light, it just showed me, it gave me my clarity and purpose. And the inspiration behind this candle is the song This Little Light of Mine. I've been singing that song since I was a toddler in church. And I still sing it in the car in the morning. My kids are like, "Mom, you can't sing." But I'm like, I'm not gonna I'm gonna always let it shine. We all have a light, and we have to remember that light is our guiding force. It gives us that clarity and purpose if we just follow that light. Sometimes that light may be shining bright. There are times when it wanes a little bit, but it's always there inside of you. Listen, it's like that voice that tells you, "Hey, it's time to make that move. Hey," and it
Yeah,
gets louder and louder.
right. And that goes back to so many people pivot, changing careers. I can't talk today. Um, I want to remind people and let them know if you're still questioning how much to make of this or that with the amount of guests that you have coming, on Jeannie's website, justjeanniejacobs.com, she has holiday meal planning. So it says you're doing leg of lamb, how much you need for 4 people, this, that, or the other.
Right.
So it's a good guideline. So go over there and look at that. Um, we're down to the last questions. You sort of heard them before. You should be prepared. Um, what was the best of what advice would you give your 18-year-old self?
Don't sweat the small stuff because we fret about these little things around us. Stick with the big picture, keep it in your head and move forward. That's the number one thing. Because my daughter's the same way, very detailed, very type A. Sometimes you got to just let it go. And it's okay. You're not going to derail. You start finding things out there that you didn't know you could do. And things become, I don't know, more livable for you instead of being all frustrated and upset and wringing your hands and running to the wind.
Right.
And another
Uh,
big thing is like for me, I mean, I went to Wellesley. We're super women, right? They talk about the Wellesley woman. You can do anything and everything. Sure, I believe I can do anything whenever I want, et cetera, et cetera. But you got to get help. You got to have people who are going to help you or get things in place that will help you get to where you need to be and
And
delegate.
don't
Yeah.
feel free, don't feel you have the right to ask for help.
Help. Exactly.
You
And
don't have to do everything alone. You don't have to prove a
exactly.
point. Right.
Exactly.
What's the best bite you've had all week?
Well, last night I got to attend an event for BSH. They're, I guess, the U.S. retailers for Gaggenau, Thermador, and Bosch. And they had this wonderful event. And I met a chef here in Houston, who's very popular, Chris Shepard. And he is amazing. So he cooked for us. And I actually ate a boudin dumpling. And I always stayed away from that when I was in Louisiana because I saw people make them, and I just couldn't. All the different parts are interesting, but it was amazing. The flavor was perfect. The heat was just right. The texture was, just amazing. I didn't feel any grittiness to it. It just melts in my mouth. It was absolutely amazing.
Terrific. Um, two things that are a must in your refrigerator.
Must. Almond iced tea. I have to make that 4 or 5 times a week. And definitely yogurt, Chobani yogurt. So those are my 2 go-to. If I can't have
Okay.
the yogurt, then it's Gouda cheese.
All right. What was your ultimate culinary fail?
Oh gosh, I made a pound cake over the summer and thought I knew I was doing because I hadn't made one in years, and the thing stuck to the pan. So we had pound cake crumbs.
Or you topped the ice cream with it?
Yes, we did. I tried to pull it back together with icing. My mom was like, "No, it tastes good." She's like, "Nah."
It's history. It's history.
She's like, "You need to go back and make another one."
We don't waste, or we shouldn't. Um, my neighbor was just saying that she made all this food, and she says, I can't waste food. So we have this thing: I make too much, or I make something, here, have this. It's a lot of sharing. So
Yes.
she sent me some beans and some rice. And that might be dinner because I'm seeing the dentist after this for a big
Oh,
problem.
oh.
Yeah. Um, if you could wake up tomorrow with a new talent, what would the new talent be?
Ooh, that's a good one. Oh, I know, gardening. I cannot grow a thing. I wish I could. My mom is very good with plants and stuff. Mine are brown on the back porch right now.
Well, you cook for her,
Right.
so she can do that. I get things that you can't kill, like philodendron and Christmas cactus.
Well, guess
That's
what? I can
bloom.
kill those too.
Well, all right. I'll cancel that gift to you then. It's going to be an orchid, but now I'm not going to do
Oh, no, I tried those. I've been trying.
it. um, what didn't I ask you that I probably should have?
Favorite places to travel? And besides Paris, Paris is definitely my first, but I love Singapore. The food there was amazing. All the different markets where, these Michelin starred chefs would come from. I ate my way through Singapore. It was embarrassing, but I don't care.
So, you're suggesting that people, if they can put it within their reach, they should travel.
You should travel, definitely. Definitely. And I highly recommend Singapore, especially if you enjoy food. It's
Oh,
amazing what you find there.
I can go 3 blocks and find food. That's me. So I think that's about it, unless we've told people to learn more about you, what you offer as a lifestyle maven, your products at justjeanniejacobs.com. I want to wish you the very best, happiest, healthy holiday season and 2025. And I thank you for being willing to come back
Oh,
and do
anytime.
this again. I
Yeah.
so appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me. You have a great holiday.
Thank you, Jeannie. And I have a couple announcements. Those of you who know me, if you want to contact me, you can reach me at my email, daracooks at, um, no, excuse me, I'm confused, which is nothing new. You can reach me at food@jmoreliving.com. My Instagram is at Dara Cooks. And Facebook, I do have a Food Enthusiast page. You can find me there. Next week's guest will be Lori Forrester. She's known as the Wine Coach. Her podcast is The Sipping Point, which you can find on Apple, Spotify, and iHeart. And we're going to be talking about wine. Be prepared to call in or contact us on the internet here with your questions about wine and selections that you might want to consider for the holiday season. You know, this show immediately goes to video after it airs, and it's available for you and friends to see. You can go back in the archives. You can go to jmoreliving.com and find it there as well. And also on YouTube. So if you put in my name, Jmore Living, you will find it there. There's actually a podcast list of the show, Jmore, the Food Enthusiast, and it'll give you access to all the shows. So you can listen to that on your walks. Like anything else, I hope to see you next Thursday when Laurie is on. May your plates always, always remain full. Thank you for joining us.